The words date back to a time when English was a foreign language. When the prairies, the sun, and the wind were described in Dakota. That this native language of Minnesota is alive at all in a park in Renville County is not unlike the early stages of the bald eagle's flight back from near extinction.
Yeah, our family is all in here.
This is where the Dakota language
my grandma's here.
had ended.
My Kunshi, she spoke Dakota.
For Dallas Goldtooth's family.
Cup, she spoke Dakota. My Toonie there. My Dekshi, George, spoke Dakota. They all spoke Dakota, but, they never taught my mom.
The loss of the language is one legacy of the era of Indian boarding schools. This school in Pipestone, Minnesota, and dozens of others throughout the country served a government policy of separating Indian children from their families, traditions, and language. Assimilating the natives was the objective of Richard Henry Pratt, an influential boarding school advocate who famously said in 1892, "Kill the Indian in him and save the man." The philosophies of Pratt and others like him were like a hacksaw to a centuries-long chain that had linked the transfer of the Dakota language from one generation to the next. Unlike the bald eagle, there is no Endangered Species Act to revive a language. Those efforts have begun on a scale less grand.
I just got to make sure I'm all on.
In small pockets across the state.
My head, Nina.
Yvonne Leith is an elder in southwestern Minnesota's Upper Sioux community. She's being recorded as part of an effort to capture on video the state's few remaining Dakota speakers. When the project was launched 3 years ago, organizers calculated that the number of fluent speakers in Minnesota who'd grown up with the language had dwindled to fewer than a dozen.
First grade.
Since then, several of those,
They were so happy.
including Genevieve Labatt and Gary Cabot, have also passed away.
I'll shoot you up in here. I like doing here. Dakota up in here. A pet. And Nina chance. We don't speak that devil's language here. We speak English. And then here pe akan amape. Nina ksumayam.
Through the same project, elders like Yvonne are working with young apprentices like Dallas,
I still don't know what horse I'm riding.
who then share the language with those even younger. Broken links in the chain reconnected.
Which is left. Which is right.
For hundreds of years now, the control of our lives has been dictated by the decisions of others.
Money!
And we're finally in a place as a people and as individuals where we can start taking control of ourselves.
I see this as like we're trying to rebuild that Tiwahe and that Tioshpaya, that family and extended family component.
Teresa Peterson is executive director of the project known as Dakota Wichoha, meaning way of life.
And so what you're seeing is that reclaiming of kinship and the way that we treat each other. That's the way of life.
I can eventually pass it down to like my children. I think it's a big responsibility.
A generational passage already renewed for Dallas Goldtooth.
This is Mahbia Ilelia when she lights the sky on fire. Ihawo, smile. There you go. How can you see the world as a Dakota if you can't define the world with Dakota words? And that's where we're trying to get back.
Count Dallas among those convinced it's not too late to rescue the language of the Dakota and saved for the future the voice of Minnesota. Boyd Huppert, KARE 11 News, Renville County.